There are many variations of Legal's Checkmate which you didn't even know about. By the way, attack and defense is very simple, so you won't spend much time on studying it. So, the Legal's Checkmate for white starts with the move e4, black responds with e5. We play knight f3, developing our piece. The black plays knight c6. We develop our bishop knight c4. The black plays pawn d6, a very common structure for black. It is called Italian game. So we play knight c3, developing our knight, and the black responds with the knight bishop g4. A very common move, you will see it a lot in the game. So, and here we play the crucial move, which is knight takes e5, which seems odd and crazy because we just sacrifice our queen. But the thing is, if black takes our queen with bishop, which we see on the screen, we take the pawn on f7 with our bishop, checking the king. The king has only one move, which is forward, and then we make a simple checkmate into. So it's a very common trap. So we'll look at the legal checkmate from the black's perspective and how we should defend. So as we know, white starts with the move e4, we respond with e5, white plays knight f3, knight c6, bishop c4, pawn d6. White plays knight c3, we play bishop g4. And here white does their move. And the only move that saves us from the checkmate is the knight takes e5. It's a hard move to find, but at the same time, it wins white's horsey and also defends bishop from queen. So now legal's checkmate is broken and we are equal. Okay, so there's a second variation of legal's checkmate for white. I'll go briefly through it. So the moves that we already saw. Okay, and here black plays g4, which you can also face that move very oftenly. And here we also can play knight takes e5. So just remember these patterns because you will see them a lot in games. And this is an easily winning game if black doesn't play the best move, which is how to defend from this is black plays, we already saw these moves. And when we play pawn g6, our opponent plays knight that captures our pawn on e5. And we can't win a piece in this position because our knight is not developed. So we can just take with the pawn the horsey. This variation is not very good because we're losing a pawn, but it's the only way to defend. So if you're already in that position, decide to do this. So I'll show a perfect version of legal's checkmate enhanced. So we already saw these moves. Yeah. And now here we play pawn h3, which we attack the bishop, and bishop has either to take our knight or to move back. Usually the bishop will move back to keep the pin on the knight and the queen. And here we just take the pawn, like the same variation. We already saw that. So you can also do that. That's a very good line. So how to defend from this? I'll go back a little bit. So we moved here, and the opponent took our pawn on e5, and now we take back, and our opponent takes our bishop on h5 with the queen, and we see that the white's bishop and white's queen looks at our pawn on f7, and they're threatening a checkmate, so we need to be careful. We have a knight that is protecting it, but it can be easily removed. So We take the bishop, so we don't have a danger of being checkmated. And here, white responds with the fork, because we are in check, and he'll take our knight next move. So here we just block with the queen, because if he trades, it's good for us, but he won't. He will take the knight. So in this variation, white just got good like a free pawn in the opening, but it's a good variation for a defense. Okay, next move is we take the knight, and it's also a solid variation, because we will end up with queen takes f3, because white doesn't want to ruin the pawn structure. And we just develop our pieces, and we have about equal position in this game. So now we just develop our bishop and then castle, and then we fight for the center with these two pawns, and the game should be about equal. So it's a good variation to defense against Legal's Checkmate. So guys, that's the end of the video. Just practice through it, and you will get it, because this is a very common pattern in the game, a very common opening, and it's very tricky. So good luck on studying it. Chess guys, goodbye.